Hi students, in the last video we learnt about speed and velocity. Now in this we will learn about the xt graph, where x is the position, t is the time. So what is this xt graph? What is the necessity of these graphs? To analyze the motion of any body, instead of using the numerical method, sometimes it is very easy to solve a problem by using the graphical method. That's why we are going to use these graphs while solving some problems in motion in a straight line, especially in competitive exams. So if we use a formula, you may get the answer in 2 minutes, but if we use these graphs, you can get the answer for the same question within 1 minute. That's why these graphs are very important for us. So here today I am going to use a xt graph. So I am telling once again, this is the position, this is the time, xt graph or position time graph. So what is this graph? In general, the time will be taken along x-axis. The time is taken along x-axis. The position is taken along y-axis. In general, if it is not mentioned, let us say one problem is given in a xt graph, always you take time along x-axis, position along y-axis. But sometimes they may give the graph itself like this. If it is the case, then only you consider this one, position along x-axis, time along y-axis. In general, the continuously varying quantity is taken along y-axis, and time dependent values will be taken along y-axis, and time generally taken along x-axis. Now here time is taken along x-axis, position is taken along y-axis. That graph is called position time graph. So now let us say a body is initially at rest. Now let me take a body which is initially at rest at origin. So it is at origin. Now I am taking some time intervals here. These are the time intervals: 2 seconds, 4 seconds, 6 seconds, 8 seconds. If the position of the body is not changing with respect to time, then we say the body is at rest. So after 1 second, body is at origin. After 2 seconds, body is at origin. After 3 seconds, body at origin. After 4 seconds, after 5 seconds, after 6 seconds, after 8 seconds. So position of the body is not changing. You may think that the body is moving from here to here. No, here time is changing. We are indicating position along this point. Here position is for this 0. For this also position along y-axis or along x-axis. Along this one 0. After 4 seconds, position 0, because this is 0 meters. This is 2 meters. Let us say this is 4 meters. Let us say 6 meters. So at 0 seconds, the origin indicates 0 seconds, initial time. At 0 seconds, position is 0 meter. At 2 seconds, position is 0 meter. So at 4 seconds, position is 0. 6 seconds, position is 0 meter. 8 seconds, position is 0 meter. That means here time is changing, but the position of the body is not changing. So we know that if the position of a body does not changes with respect to time, then the body is said to be at rest. So here this body is said to be at rest, and if you draw the graph, you will get a line here. So any line which is parallel to x-axis or time axis, then the body is said to be at rest. So let me take one more example here. A body is at a 3 meter distance when the time is 0 seconds. After 2 seconds, the position is 3 meters. After 4 seconds, position is 3 meters. After 6 seconds, position is 3 meters. So here, if you join this, you will get a line. So this is also a position time graph, but here also the body is at rest. That means the distance of that object from the origin is 3 meter initially. After some time intervals, the position is not changing. So this is also a body at rest. So this graph represents a body at rest. So according to the definition, if the position of the body does not changes with respect to time, then the body is said to be at rest. Now the same thing we can get idea by using this position time graph here, a straight line parallel to x-axis. So first point, straight line parallel to time axis, that is x-axis, indicates a body at rest. Now, so if you draw any line which is parallel to time axis, then we can say the body is at rest. Now, here, let me take myself as the origin. So, I am at origin and I am the observer here. So, from this point, I have seen an object when time is equal to 0. The first time when I am observing an object, it should be considered 0. So, we should not take the exact time in the wall clock. So, the first observation point, the first instant at which the object is observed by the observer should be taken as 0. So, when time is equal to 0, so I have seen an object which is at a 4 meter distance from me. The object is at a 4 meter distance from me. So, after some time, that means after 2 seconds, I observed this object at 6 meters, and after 2 more seconds, that means at 4 seconds, I observed this object at 8 meters. So, if you observe this one, in 2 seconds, object traveled 2 meters. In the next 2 seconds, object once again traveled 2 meters. How to represent this in the graph? So, this is not the graph. So, this is the observation point, myself here, and I have seen one object at 4 meters from me, and t is equal to 0. After 2 seconds, it is at 6 meters from me. After 2 more seconds, it is at 8 meters from me. So, now let me represent this in the graph. So, when the time is 0, the observation point, that means the body is observed at point A. So, let me take this point A, which is at 4 meters from me. So, after 2 more seconds, the observation, that means I observed this object at 6 meters, and after 2 more seconds, that means at 4 seconds, this was seen at this point. So, this is A. So, object traveled from A to B and up to C. What is the difference between this line and this line? This line is parallel to x-axis. So, any straight line parallel to time axis indicates that body is at rest. But here this is not a parallel line to time axis. It is making some angle. You know how to measure the angle. So, it is making some angle with time axis. This is time axis. You can draw any line here. So, time axis. This is theta. So, the angle made by position time graph with x-axis indicates the velocity of the body. Here, if you see this one theta, and if you draw one more triangle here, this is also theta. From this observation, for every 2 seconds, body is traveling 2 meters distance. 2 seconds, 2 meters, 2 seconds, 2 meters, next 2 seconds, 2 meters. So, then this is called uniform motion. So, what is meant by uniform motion? If a body covers equal distances in equal intervals of time, then the body is said to be in uniform motion. So, how to represent that motion here? So, I have to represent this with a straight line but inclined to time axis. So, the second point, a position time graph, xt graph, which is inclined with time axis, indicates uniform motion, if the angle made by that graph is constant throughout. So, this is very, very important. The angle made by this line with the time axis must be constant. So, how to represent the velocity of a body? We know that velocity is equal to velocity, that is V bar is equal to displacement by time. here what is the displacement? Same, this is the displacement. So if it is a position, that is x, so this will be dx, that is small distance or small displacement is denoted with the letter dx, or in some books it is given as a delta x. Both are not the same, but I will explain this later. This is delta x and this is delta t. So this can also be written as delta x by delta t, that is change in position by time. Here I should write a bar. Why? Because position or displacement is a vector. So v bar is equal to delta x by delta t. But we have studied this as a tangent angle. What is tangent? Tan theta. Opposite side by adjacent side. That means the slope of position time graph gives velocity. So the third point, slope of xt graph gives velocity. So in this diagram, here if you want to find velocity, find theta here. For this you have to construct a right angle triangle, tan theta is equal to opposite side by adjacent side. Now similarly, if you want to find velocity here, this is also opposite side by adjacent side. And everywhere, wherever you want to find out velocity, just to find the angle made, tangent angle made by that graph with x-axis. So that will give the velocity. Now, if you consider the motion of a train or a car, initially let us say you are in a railway station and the train is starting from the platform. So the initial velocity is 0. That means it is just starting. That means velocity is slightly changing. So initially it travels with a very small velocity. That means it won't move at a faster rate. Now that means for 2 seconds, let us say it traveled, for 2 seconds it traveled only 2 meters. So for 2 seconds 2 meters. Next 2 seconds it traveled 8 meters and then it stopped due to some reason. So here the graph will be like this. It stopped here. So this is a straight line parallel to time axis. This is another graph, and if you observe this one, if you find the angle here, so here if you find the angle, this is a theta 1 where angle is less. Here angle is more, that you can see. So this, if you want to construct, if you want to find this theta, draw a small triangle here like this. This is the tangent to this curve. Theta 1 is very small and theta 2 is very large. So this is theta 2. So after that, after reaching this point here, theta 3 is equal to 0. So when the angle made by the position time graph with x-axis is 0, then the body is at rest. Here I can write, when the body is at rest, tan theta must be 0. So this is another point that you have to remember. Tan theta should be equal to 0 degrees, or tan 0 is 0, so no problem. But here this black color line indicates non-uniform motion. Non-uniform motion. Next, when a body is in motion, sometimes we need to find out its velocity. So to find out velocity, we have a formula. Velocity is equal to displacement by time. That is v bar is equal to x bar by t. Right. But just now we found one more method of finding velocity by position time graph. So here let me take one position time graph. The slope of position time graph always gives a velocity. So this is a graph. Here I am taking, this is T1, T2, T3, T4 along x-axis, and the corresponding displacements here is x1, x2, x3, x4, x5, x6. So these are the positions. Now, a body is moving such that its position is changing with the time according to this graph. So when time is t1, position is x1. So this is the first position. When time is t2, position is x3. When time is t3, position is x4. So here it is changing its direction. So here you can see the graph is changing. That means it is not a straight line. So when time is t4, let us say the body is at x4 only, and time t4 body is at this one. Here it is at x4. In this graph, if you observe this one, the position is changing with respect to time. But here between T3 and T4, the body is at rest. So this is at rest from to take O, A, B, C, D. Between O to A, here from O to A, this is almost a straight line. So the motion is uniform. The motion is uniform. Between A to B as well as from B to C, the motion is non-uniform. And after between C to D, the body is at rest. It is not in motion. But how to find the velocity of a body, that is this particle, in a particular interval of time? So for this, I need to find the velocity for this graph. So for this, between A and B, I want to find out velocity between A and B. So let me construct a graph here, and if you construct a right angle triangle here, this is a right angle triangle, how to find the velocity here? That is the tangent angle made by that graph. Here graph is a curved line, but you draw a straight line by connecting A and B, because I am finding velocity, not the speed. So this is a shortest distance change in position. So now how to find out this tan theta? Tan theta is given by the opposite side by adjacent side. What is this opposite side? This is x3 and this is x1. x3 minus x1 by this is t2 minus t1. So tan theta is equal to, what is this x3 minus x1? This is the change in position. So let me take it as a delta x. But as I am finding the velocity, always you take the bars here. So this is delta x bar by delta t. So the angle made by the position time graph with x-axis always gives the velocity. So v bar is equal to delta x by delta t, that is delta x bar by delta t. So this is the method of finding velocity. But what is this average velocity? So let me explain with one more example here. A body started from A, or let me take P, moving along a straight line, reached Q. The total displacement of this body is, the total displacement between P and Q is 100 kilometers, and the total time taken is 1 hour. The average velocity is defined as the total displacement by total time. So V average, that is V bar average, is equal to total displacement of the body by total time taken. So V average bar is given by, what is total displacement here? 100 kilometers. What is total time taken? 1 hour. So this is very simple. 100 by 1 is 100. This is 100 kilometer per hour. So generally we write by hour kmph. You might have used this notation in school standard also. This is 100 kilometer per hour. But we should not use this kilometers and hours in SI system. The distance must be measured in meters. The time must be measured in seconds. So what is this 100 kilometer per hour in SI system? So let me write this in SI system. So 100 kilometer by 1 hour. So this is 100 into, what is kilometer? Kilometer is nothing but 1000 meters. So this is 1000 meters by 1 hour. 1 hour means 60 minutes or 3600 seconds. So this is 3600 seconds. Cancel 0 and 0, 2 5s, 2 18s. So whenever the speed or velocity of a body is given in kilometer per hour, in general we measure speed of a body or velocity of a body in kilometer per hour only, whether it is speed of bus, speed of train, speed of helicopter, generally we measure in kilometer per hour. But in physics, especially in SI system, we need to use only meters per distance and second for time. So this will be equal to 100 into that extra term is 5 by 18 meters per second. So whenever the speed or velocity of a body is given in kilometer per hour, multiply with 5 by 18. Why we are multiplying with 5 by 18? Kilometer means 1000 meters, hour means 3600 seconds. So if you cancel these two, you will get that conversion factor which is equal to 5 by 18. So this is called conversion factor. To convert kilometer per hour into meter per second, we need this value. So this is the conversion factor. So now this will be 100 into 5, 500 by 18 meter per second. Galileo gave all these definitions, that is, speed is equal to distance per time, velocity is equal to displacement per time, acceleration is the rate of change in velocity of a body. All these were given by Galileo. But Newton analyzed all these definitions. So in this case, if you take this is 0 seconds, this is 1 second, this is 2 seconds, this is 3 seconds, this is 4 seconds, like this. Let the displacement is 10 meter, 20 meter, 30 meter, 40 meter, 50 meter. So this is a example. So what is the velocity between A and B? Even though the body is not moving with the uniform velocity, we can find out the velocity here. Now here between A and B, what is the velocity between A and B? So the velocity between A and B is given by V bar is equal the change in displacement or position by time. So what is the change in position? And A, this is 10 meters, at B it is 30 meters. So this will be 30 meters minus 10 meters. And what is the time in that one? So this is 1 second. So answer is 20 meter per second. So between A and B, body is moving with a velocity of 20 meter per second. Okay. Now, if you take an intermediate point here, which I will take it as a P. So what is the velocity, the V bar between A and P? So this V bar is given by, now we will get one more triangle here, a small triangle when compared to the previous one. Now this time interval will change now. This is 1.5 seconds and this is 20 meters. So now let me write this one. 20 meters minus 10 meters by 0.5 seconds, because here time interval is 1.5 seconds minus 1 second, that is 0.5 seconds. So answer is 10 meter by 0.5 seconds. This is 10 by, this is 1 by 2 meter per second. So V bar is equal to 20 meter per second. If you observe the first one, in the first case between A and B, the velocity was 20 meter per second. Between A and B, the velocity is 20 meter per second. Now, like that, if you reduce the time into fractional time, that means a small fraction of a second, and then if you find the theta, and Newton found that if the time, the change in time is 1 second, the velocity was found to be 20 meter per second. If the change in time is 0.5 second, the velocity is found to be 20 meter per second. If the time is 0.1 second, then also he observed that by dividing this into small triangles, then also he found this as 20 meter per second. If the delta t is equal to 0.00000000001 second, that means for a small fraction of time, then also the velocity was found to be 20 meter per second. So for any body which is moving along a straight line, for any time interval, the velocity remains same. The displacement may change. The time interval may change, but this never changes for a uniform motion or if the body is moving along a straight line. So based on this one, Newton tried to found velocity for a fraction of second, and for every fraction of second, for every minute second, he found that velocity remains the same. Then finally, if the time is reduced to a very small value, what is that small value? He found that if that time interval, here if you observe this value, this is almost equal to 0 but not equal to 0. So if you reduce this time little bit so much, and finally you will have a point at a point. So here I need to take one triangle, I need to draw a triangle here which is not visible. So when the delta t tends to 0, so we can write time tends to 0 but not equal to 0. If time equal to 0, then in that small time interval, the body will be at rest. So for a small time interval, when the time tends to 0, the velocity remains the same, that is 20 meters per second. So based on this one, Newton invented one tool to solve problems in physics that we call it as calculus. So by using the principles of calculus, Newton find a expression to find the velocity of a body. So based on that one, if the velocity of the body at a given interval of time is something, for a small interval of time also velocity remains the same. So here V bar is given by delta x bar by delta t when the limit of delta t tends to 0. That means this is the actual formula, but what is the limit of delta t? Delta t is not equal to 0, but delta t almost equal to 0. Now, if you are riding a bike, your bike speedometer will show different readings. When you start your bike, the speedometer will show 0. That means you are just started your bike. When you are moving, it is showing 10 kmph, that is kilometer per hour. So if it is a smooth road and if there is no traffic at all on the road, then you can ride your bike at 100 kmph very easily. But if there are potholes, then once again you have to decrease your speed. Why we are using that word speed, why not velocity, means it is not possible for us to move along a straight line continuously. That's why in general we call it as speed. Let us say you are riding your bicycle or bike on a road along a straight line, then we can use that word velocity. So velocity changes from time to time. If you see the speedometer at a particular time, let us say it is showing 100 kmph. So you are riding the bike, and once again if you see this one, it may reach 120 kmph. And if the traffic is there, if there is a traffic, then you have to reduce your velocity. That means the speedometer will come back to 40 kmph. If there is a railway gate, then you have to stop your bike, then the speedometer will come back to 0. That means your velocity is not constant throughout your journey. But if we take in case of rocket, in case of aeroplanes, there the velocity may be maintained at a constant rate, but for us it is not that much easy to maintain a constant velocity on the traffic, on the road with the traffic. Now here in this case, if the delta t tends to 0, that means when you are riding a bike, if you just see the speedometer and if you see the road, the speedometer will give some reading. That is not the average velocity, that is called instantaneous velocity. So this velocity is called instantaneous velocity. That means the velocity at that particular instant of time, instantaneous velocity. So in this case, the velocity of this body when the time interval tends to 0, that means you are going to watch that speedometer only for a fraction of second. In that fraction of second, it is showing some reading. Let us say you are riding your car and your brother or sister is watching from behind. So your car speed varies from time to time. So here I am using the word speed. Why? Because once again it is not possible for us to maintain the direction constantly along a straight line. When you are riding a bike, when you are riding a car, let us say if there is some traffic, you have to decrease your speed. If there is no traffic, if it is highway between Hassan and Bangalore or Hubli and Bangalore, then if there is no traffic during these lockdown times, and we can increase our speed up to 120 kilometers per hour very easily. But it is not safe to drive vehicles at that speed. So that's why your parents may warn you, don't go with that speed. You have to decrease your speed. They won't use that word velocity. Why? Because velocity can be used only if you are moving along a straight line continuously without changing your direction. But in general, in journeys, we will change our direction. Let us say one small dog is coming onto the road, then we have to change our direction. If there is a buffalo on the road, we have to change our direction. Even if there is a ant on the road, we have to change our direction. So here, to save that ant, we need to take a turn. So then the direction will change. Whenever direction changes, we call it as distance. If direction is not changing, we call it as velocity. So here, what is this instantaneous velocity? The velocity of a particle in a small interval of time. This interval is very, very small, almost nearing zero. But it is not equal to zero, it is tending, it tends to zero. Almost the next step will be zero only. So that much small time. So in that time, the body will travel some distance. So you are traveling here, and this is your bike, and this is yourself, you are riding this one, and here at this particular instant, if you see the speedometer, this will give the instantaneous velocity.